Hello, my friends. Thank you once again for joining me on this journey of consciousness as we traverse the spheres with our individual little pixels of rainbow sparkly light that we are essentially. And so I wanted to just leave this episode totally open. I get lots of ideas of things I want to share with you all. And so I'm feeling like I just wanted to, be the vessel to speak what you truly need to hear. And whether you're joining us from near, far, in time or space, we're all coming together through, really essentially transcending time and space to join with one another in such a pure form of our soul as a plasma vortex that, only what's good can come through in these meetings. It's really, I'm holding just the highest possible intention for these videos to be of value and of meaning. And it's right now, it's the first and primary service, you could say, of this Project Jumpgate that I started recently. And, asking myself, okay, what now? Now that the vessel of the space is here and the vessel of the organization that has nonprofit status, a 501(c)(3) status, but is also in the jurisdiction of the air and an ecclesiastical trust, which is a whole other topic, which I may explore at some point, but like I said, you can feel free to reach out to me if it's something you want to learn more about. And this little malachite here did want to say hi. Thought I had it the other day, and just a really gorgeous stone. I couldn't have spent that much money on this, maybe like $10 or $12. There's a lot of crystal shops out west that are really tend to be more affordable, but you can find good stuff on the East Coast too. It's just that the big crystal shows happen in there's this one place in Nevada every year. It's called, I want to say it's called Gem and Jam, and that's where you can get directly from miners or wholesalers really good prices on crystals. And it takes place in Nevada, and the town, it's where there's a lot of van lifers that live there. There was even a whole movie on sort of the RV culture that I watched with my dad and my stepmom. Let's see. Yeah. Gosh. Well, it's this town in Nevada. I'm sure you can find it if you search it online, Gem and Jam, but apparently other events happen there. I've been wanting to go for a few years now, so it's a someday. So, let me just wanting to be really the pure vessel for you all, and that includes myself as well. A lot of times I replay these episodes and I get to receive my own medicine through it. It's wonderful, and you all really are my rock right now in such a big way. So my gratitude is coming from a deep place of gratitude for you all joining this, because this event that I'm about to go to, I'm leaving in 3 days to drive out west again, and it makes sense because Colorado and Arizona have been feeling like they were calling to me, Sedona, and these places I've spent a fair amount of time. I did start traveling extensively about 4 years ago, around June of 2020, when a lot of us were going through big shifts in our lives. And since then I've just become very comfortable on the road. I've spent a lot of time in truck stops and convenience stores and rest areas, especially the ones that are okay with you spending the night, because I would just want to get as much driving done at times and just want to be able to, okay, here's a rest area, let's stop for the night. And so I'm getting geared up again for a road trip, and it's been a while. I came back in, I guess I got back here in August. It feels like a while. I suppose it's only been 6 weeks actually. But I have been in the mode of really splitting my time between being stationary and then driving all around America, and then spending a couple months in France last winter when the portal incident occurred and all of that, and really looking at how much has changed. And I wonder if you all too, like in the last 4 years, just looking back at how much may have shifted in your lives as well. So gearing up for this event, I'm gonna meet some amazing and incredible people. As I mentioned to you all before, I hope to be the portal for them to share if they have experiences that they start sharing. I'll likely say, hey, wait, do you want to share this with everyone, that's been following my work as well? Because I let them know, and if they don't want to share, then that's totally fine too. I still want to hear their story, and maybe some people will want to just share, through their voice, which is totally wonderful as well. And if any of you all, speaking of, if any of you all would like to do that, I realize this might be the great opportunity to ask if any of you all have experiences you're interested in sharing. And if so, please email me. At the very least, I'd love to hear what you've been through in your life. If there's stories I've told that have, reminded you of significant events. I'm getting kind of sweaty. It's warm, but the sun is really a vitamin that it can assist us in certain amounts of incredible ways, and we of course measure how much of it we take, but taken in the right amount, sun is really healthy. So when people say, Florida, it's so hot there, I'm like, well, I used to pay a lot of money for hot yoga. So I'll love to stretch and be sweating and go for a run. I'm hoping to get back into that more. When you live in Florida, there are times when you sweat, and so it's like, but again, saunas and sweating is a really good thing for us. So yay that I'm sweating, and you all just get to see me wipe the sweat from my face. In the next couple of weeks, copper tensor ring craftsman, talented young man who works with frequencies as well, is going to be doing tensor ring work here. Really, really grateful for his wanting to join the space and spend time here as this vessel shifts to truly operating in service of the highest good for all humanity. Like I told you all in that video of the Jump Gate Trust, I embedded it into the name so that it's clear from the very name that this project is all about serving everyone. And so my hope is, and my intention, and just the nature of this vessel, I feel will attract the people that are wanting to be of service, meaning if we give just a little bit more than we get, just a tiny bit more, we all get more than we gave. Then we continue to give a little bit more than we got, and it goes on and on like this. And it creates massive amounts of abundance and prosperity for everyone involved in a system of that nature. Now we're shifting away, we're letting go, we're transitioning out of Earth dominant structure being one which is teaches and entrains people to be service to self. So, however, we can step in at any time. We don't need the Earth structure to change, and I feel it's already shifted, and that now to be a more positive person, to be more loving, we then get it back, right? So whether we're growing up in times where it was uncomfortable to share how you felt, or to be in your heart and to hug someone from your heart, it was maybe scary, or we had to open ourselves too much and we just stayed closed. Well, now things are shifting, and I've said many times, it's like every day is Christmas. If we can want to accept and receive that mentality and that perspective of like, wow, look at those trees behind me. they're just there. I'm not doing anything for them to exist other than seeing them with my mind, with my eyes. But by having gratitude for everything around us and knowing it's all fundamentally consciousness, so when we can love whatever situation we're in, whatever person we might be having challenges with, if we know that we fundamentally love them, it's okay to not like them in the moment or to not trust them in the moment and to put up boundaries or whatever we have to do. We know we fundamentally love them and we want the best for them. When we're acting out of our own best interests and the best interests of others all the time, I find my life flows incredibly. If we just take a moment together and see every human on earth smiling, joyful, access to joy in their life, if they want to feel joyful, they can. Access to bliss is important for the immune system, for humans to feel bliss. We see everyone on the planet content, peaceful mind, peaceful heart. We see everyone having clean, pure drinking water. We see everyone having nourishing food that they grew or received with the minimal effort and the maximum nutrition and the maximum health for the planet. We see all of Earth's nature pristine, functioning together as these beautiful ecosystems where everything's in harmony. We see ourselves in harmony with everyone and everything around us. This one intention of choosing to be in harmony, of wanting to be in harmony with absolutely everyone and everything we encounter, everywhere we go, at all times. This one intention is perhaps, for me, it's been one of the most powerful and potent and pure and clear intention that if I just put enough of my energy into that battery, I have just the most beautiful interactions with everyone I encounter all day. My life flows with ease, with grace. If there was one affirmation or intention that I could recommend to you all, it would be to just be in harmony, just to choose harmony, and to choose to be at peace and in harmony with everyone and everything around us. It really, really is profound. But also, too, just seeing everyone on the planet getting everything that they need all the time. I laugh because it's so simple, but it's like magic. It really, really is. Because we're honing and clarifying our own intention of what we want to experience. It's clarifying that thought precision so that the mind can serve the heart. The heart is a much more powerful engine that, the mind is super incredible in its own ways, but magnetically, electrically, the heart is far more energetically potent if you want to look at it just from an electrical standpoint. So, if the heart's serving the mind, it doesn't really work that well. They say the mind is an excellent servant and a terrible master. That was an expression my cousin shared with me many years back that always stuck with me. So when we teach the mind to serve the heart, and because the heart knows what the heart knows, and the heart knows what the heart wants, I mean, if you ever have doubt, just ask, how do I feel in my heart about it? It's, when we can, develop that skill to be rock solid, of just, when something just doesn't feel right and it's even beyond our gut, because I find a lot of my intuition is in my gut, and other people as well, they talk about intuition being based in the gut. So, but if you picture the way the energy's flowing up from the earth through our bodies, through the chakras, which are energy centers, it's going to get to the gut before it gets to the heart. But the heart sort of is like that final stamp of approval. So just asking if something brings us joy and just like, how does our heart feel when we think about that thing? It's redeveloping this sensitivity of awareness and being in touch with who we are and why we're here and how we feel in any given moment. And it's like strengthening that connection to where we know how we feel about anything. And it's like, so, you know, again, if we're transitioning from more of like where we're in our head all the time and I have to do this and I have to do that, sure, that's fine, because there's moments in the day, right? We can be in a very time-based schedule, routine, of feeling like we don't have a lot of time, but if we start to make room in our lives, we're waiting in line. We have the opportunity to get like annoyed that it's taking a long time or blah, 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 blah. I don't even want to go into it, right? It's like, what? We could also be on our phone, but we have lots of time. You know, we're all doing a lot of that, right? Well, we could take that opportunity to just take a deep breath. And I like to actually turn my attention, my body physically away from that, where it feels like all this pressure is going on the cashier. I will consistently face the magazine rack, the candy. I will like do a 90-degree turn, and to where I'm like wanting to pull some of that pressure off, because I've been a cashier and I know what that can feel like when the line's long and there's like piles of groceries on the conveyor belt. I've done a lot of these service jobs in my life. So I feel like partially so that I could really know how to love people that are in the service industry and just like treat them like the angels that they are, and trying to give tips and for the maids under the pillow. I try to leave a cash tip at a hotel and little things like that. So anyway, back to just this free-flowing expressions of consciousness. It does feel good to just be able to talk with y'all like we're having a conversation, and any of your thought forms that are part of this conversation I know are having an effect on the topics that I bring up and discuss. And so stories. Okay, well, let's see, this might be a good time to share stories, because that seems to be one of the bright spots lately, both for me and for you all. I'm sensing with my mountain lion stories and then my Sasquatch stories. So story. Now what's this? I'm going to think it was, let me ask my heart to guide my mind to maybe a story that I haven't shared with anyone in a while. Well, I guess maybe just going back to, okay, yeah, it's nice if it can be fresh for me. Let me just pause for a moment. What it means to be a human being. So, okay, as I bring my awareness back inside, I feel like I really reconnect with parts of myself that I haven't been in touch with since I was a little girl. And I do feel we're meant to embody sort of, when we get to a certain age, of course, embody wisdom as an adult, and perhaps, feel like, okay, I've got more of a sense of responsibility here. But having that connection to our inner child, our inner childlike joy, and coming back to what it means to be human for my own self, and just taking that pause, just sort of coming back into my own self, to ask myself what I want to hear too. It's sort of just coming to this deep rooted remembrance of being fully present in the moment, and this vessel being fun, like when we're kids and we're just playing and running around and playing, and we always want to have fun. I believe we're meant to carry a certain amount of that with us to keep us curious, excited about life, joyful, like, let's go do this, yeah. Like, hey, you want to go swimming? You want to go climb a tree? let's make art together, let's paint together, let's play music together, let's sing together. And I suppose the world line that I'm directing myself towards is one where I have access and I can have my private time when I need to, but yet there's things going on here at the house or elsewhere where I can flow into these lovely events where we're joining our voices, we're joining our hearts and minds for the greater good to do something together as a community. And so when I grew up out in the wild Maine woods, 40 acres, middle of nowhere, incredibly beautiful, incredibly peaceful. Trees blowing in the wind, butterflies, bees, insects like you can hear this cicada here now, crickets. We'd have a lot of chirping crickets. We might not have had cicadas, but we had all the beautiful sounds of the rain, the snow, the icicles falling from the roof in winter. And when we're immersed in natural environments and we can make space in our lives to connect with nature, even if it's just in our own mind's eye of our own meditation, let's just live lives with zero limitations when we can go on these inner vision journeys in our consciousness with our mind. So let me even open up my mind to move beyond the physical. Because again, if we see it in our mind's eye, that's going to help bring it to us in our physical life, just like I keep saying, Many Worlds Interpretation. Go back and watch the episode. So yeah, coming back into my own body and enjoying this avatar, enjoying this human experience. That's our birthright. We're meant to. I can almost like sense parts of myself or parts of the collective that we're having a hard time letting that go, right? Of like always needing to be in motion, or like I've got to do this again, the mind, like this, you know, and just whatever space we can give ourselves to come back. And this includes me. I talk about all this stuff, but I'm telling you, I got to take my own medicine 100%. When I come back to bringing my awareness into my heart, and it's this centered feeling, and moving from my heart, and I'm aligning myself with that portal in my heart, which is where the fractalic beingness of my entire body and all of it around me as a holographic projection of light is coming through that portal. And then we experience all these things, like my hand being here and I can feel things, right? But it's fundamentally powered by consciousness. And I feel that this is a discussion that really any scientist on Earth, it'd be like, it's a wonderful thing for any of us that are wanting to work in technology and science and to be an inventor, to assist inventors, to help build things, to help create workshop spaces where things can be built, to educate the public on technologies. Anyone right now that I'm meeting that is serious in that realm of like where I feel like they're onto something seems to have one foot in that world and one foot in the intuitive, dream space, etheric world. Because to get to a certain point of technology evolving, our consciousness has to be almost ahead of it. Has to be ahead of it, actually. I don't want to say almost, because it just makes sense if you consider that if we want to stay in control of the machines, that our consciousness needs to be further evolved than the machines. And if we start doing things that we don't quite understand, and that's why I brought awareness to the facets of the crystals, how if we're working with crystals for healing purposes specifically, and healing frequencies, we need the facets of the crystals to be extremely accurate, and we need the frequencies to be extremely accurate. And if that's something that you want to know more about and you're working with that, please let me know, because I do feel I'm actively educating people on some of these principles as I hone my own comprehension of them, of whether, which geometric patterns exactly, but they are precise. And it's not, and something for jewelry, for art, that's a different story. I'm talking about a product that someone's developing to sell to someone, saying, you can use this to heal your body, right? So this is very different. Like, I wear jewelry all the time with beautiful stones that were carved in certain ways, right? And it's treated as a work of art. But there's this, when we're talking about wanting to have scientific effects across time and space that we can prove, and we can tell someone, if you purchase this device, it's going to do such and such. This is really what I'm talking about when I stress the importance of accuracy with crystal facets and frequencies. And I did a video on it recently. Again, I'm wanting to hone my own precision of awareness in exactly then which, malachite. Okay, what would be then the facets that the malachite need to embody? And how do we do that? We have to go methodically, step by step. If we want to just rush and someone's like saying, hey, I really think you need to look at this, and if they're not, if we're not understanding them, right, but it's something really serious, we gotta pause and really make sure we understand what they're saying, especially if they're coming from a place of being more knowledgeable about those topics. We really want to listen, really and truly. And that goes for myself, because it's like right now there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and they all seem kind of isolated and independent. And one of my goals is to find the common threads, overarching, even if it's just finding the goals that we can agree upon. Like, if we can all agree we want every human on the planet to have clean, pure drinking water, it's like, can we just all agree on something basic like that? That that's a human right? Can we just agree that everyone deserves healthy, nutritious food, that should be a basic right? And I'm not saying to move to some kind of socialist system, no way, absolutely not. I just know there's people that purely don't even have access to it right now, and that is a tragedy. So let's take that and invert it. Like, one episode I did is this thought inversion, all right? So that's an old story that I no longer want to write, all right? So I'm going to flip that, saying, all right, now everyone on Earth gets everything they need. No more tragedies. We're meant to be abundant. Anything keeping us down in survival mode, where it seems like there's war, we don't have enough food for everyone, that is all artificial timeline. That is like essentially a bad story that we don't want to write, that is like, it's there to provide contrast for what the amazing story looks like, where Earth is healed. The whole planet is fully healed. All of the plants and animals and humans, we're existing in our optimal state. And so we need to hold space in our mind's eye, because this is how reality is generated. But as soon as we start placing the intention, we can see our own life shifting in response to the intentions we put, because that's, again, us honing our consciousness. Because our consciousness is the fundamental driver of this simulated virtual reality of hologram of light that's unique to every human. Think about that. Every human's experience, 100% unique to them. Sure, we can do things like join next to each other physically so that we might be on a roller coaster and it's like very similar, sure. But like, ultimately, like, that person can like keep riding the roller coaster 10 times, and I'm like, I want to go do the flume ride, anyway. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, we can, and this journey, anyone joining me, us, joining this group of travelers, this consciousness journey, where each of us is in our own spacecraft, but we're flying in formation now, together. So we're sort of we can take these paths through these spheres of the infinite realities, many worlds interpretation that I'm so fond of, that we're just flying through these spheres of as consciousness, flying through these spheres of reality so fast that it looks like it's moving and flowing. But if we could slow it down enough, we would find the individual frame rate of the individual spheres. So it's a beautiful, wonderful feeling to feel like I'm in the driver's seat of this avatar, right? And like, I really hope, you know, just take a moment for you to all like feel yourself in the avatar, in, you know, being the driver of your 3D avatar. Like, I hope you can just take a moment. And again, I'm receiving my own medicine right now with this, of like, yeah, I want to be here, right? That's the soul having a stronger, when it's like, oh, whoa, okay, cool, I'm doing this, right? This is like, I get to lead this. I'm the captain of my ship. It's like, it's an empowering feeling. I'm seeing like all the rainbows, and I guess my face is pretty dark right now, but I actually kind of like how the light is lining up right over my heart chakra. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. Sometimes the changes in light are part of the fun. This is like, you know, I feel like I'm purposefully keeping this less professional, because then I hope that it can be more like you all just sitting here on my patio with me, or sitting in my living room, or, you know, the 7 Heaven living room, this house here, the sanctuary home. So yeah, I hope that's okay, but I am enjoying seeing this beautiful rainbows here. So anyway, I suppose that'll about wrap it up. Love you all so much. As you are love, I am love. We are all pure love, consciousness expressing itself as individuals in this fun game that we call life on Earth, or wherever you are. Maybe you're watching this in the future, off-world somewhere, and whoever you are, wherever you are, just so grateful to be here now in this pure one single moment that is eternal, and it's just really an endless stream of consecutive moments. So let's be the driver of our avatars. All right, have a beautiful day, evening, have a beautiful life no matter what, and we will talk again when it's appropriate.